Hey everyone, my name is Philip O'Keefe and this is Giannis, and we are both the research managers from weTHINK.eu's UAV UGV working group. So we're exploring emerging threats from UAVs, UGV, and also CUAS. And so what we wanted to do is put together a weekly roundup of the things that are happening in current events related to UAV, UGV, and emerging threats, as well as CUAS. And the idea is that hopefully these videos will kind of encourage you to share your own perspectives, your opinions, or maybe we can set up interviews or even presentations that are relevant to the material about the issues that we're talking about, and to try to get the group engaged in discussions on the emerging threats related to the events that are happening in the world right now. And so, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
So I guess we'll just get started. This is our first video, so it's not going to be like a professional masterpiece. So hopefully we will do all right, and we won't say too many times, or struggle to pull up the URLs and the websites and all this stuff we're going to reference. So naturally, I think all of you are probably following Ukraine in the last few weeks since Russia started its operations in Ukraine. And for us, we have seen what's going on in Ukraine as a number of relevant issues. So as you follow the news, you can see there are a number of cases where there are innovations in modified off-the-shelf civilian UAVs, where civilian UAVs are being armed, where they're being used for ISR, and that there seems to be a whole range of different qualities coming out of there. We're also seeing the use of various military-grade UAVs against conventional and irregular forces in probably one of the first times in such a major conflict this is happening. There was something like this in Armenia, Azerbaijan, but not with the scale of the Ukraine conflict. We're also seeing UAVs being used in conventional and unconventional warfare. Interesting from an emerging threats perspective, when we're looking at the stuff that we were talking about for wargaming and red teaming, both sides are using foreign fighters. There are reports that there are irregular and non-state forces coming from all around the world. There are also reports of extreme right and ultra-nationalist groups recruiting like-minded militants from around the world, where they will receive military training, they will get combat experience, and in the case of our focus, they may even have get experience dealing with UAVs from a defensive standpoint, how to operate where UAVs are being used against you, and how to also operate the UAVs themselves, how to modify them, how to develop the weapons capabilities, the explosives, etc., and even how to use the CUAS technology as well. So naturally, with all this stuff going on, I think there are a number of issues that are probably interesting for us. And I just want to turn it over to Giannis. I think you picked up a few things yourself. What do you think about the conflict? Like, what are the key issues on your side?
Yeah, thank you, Philip. I've been following the conflict now for 3 weeks, and an interesting pattern I observe is the use of civilian drones. More specifically, like there was even an announcement from the Ukraine's defense ministry about pilots, civilian pilots who own or know how to operate DJI drones, that they can join the military units in defending Kiev. And it has been very interesting, like the capacities in which they use them, the modifications they even suggest. Mainly they're used to observe movements of Russian troops, but also there were proposals of making modifications in civilian drones so they can drop explosives over enemy positions. So I think it's very interesting the use of civilian drones, like more and more as we see it, like in every conflict. And now with the latest one in Ukraine, there is like a mass use of civilian drones. And it was making me think, like, how has the use of civilian drones in the war in Ukraine is affecting modern warfare through the acquisition of visual data we get at a larger scale than before. And also, what was interesting was how there was the use of a civilian drone in the YouTube video that I sent you. That may also have some graphic footage because it shows some close quarters combat. But this was captured by a civilian drone. I can't remember exactly which area. And it shows a patrol, a Ukrainian patrol being ambushed by Russian troops. And this civilian drone managed to capture like very important data that could be used in the way that troops move, how they set up ambushes. There was casualties, how they proceed. It was a lot of data that could be used just from a civilian drone with a camera, and it shows like also the potential that it has and how it is really affecting modern warfare. And there's like plenty of videos like that from drones on this channel, other channels as well. And yeah, it's very interesting how they can contribute to warfare in a way that we didn't think before. That was it. What was on your mind for this week, Philip?
Thanks. Yeah, it's crazy. This the video, I just was watching it now. Like the camera is like really high quality optics, and it doesn't even it doesn't look like it's moving at all. It's really impressive. So I imagine like being from the ISR capabilities, but like you said, also the tactical implications, how it's going to evolve. And this is only in the first few weeks of the conflict. So like I can imagine we're going to see a complete evolution of drone warfare and like how it supports like ground units, but how it also changes ISR, how they're mobilizing the entire population. It's super interesting. Like in that article you showed, that they're saying everyone that has a drone, send it in to us, give us the model, the make, and we'll have our professionals fly it, and in the defense of Ukraine. And to see what kind of innovation comes out of that. I mean, you just have such a massive flow of UAVs coming in, all different types, and you have a state apparatus focused on modifying them to make them militarized or weaponized. I think it's going to be very interesting to see. So a point that I saw, which is surprising for me, it's not surprising that I'm wrong in my analyses, but I've been seeing that the Turkish TB2, Bayraktar TB2, has been having massive success in Ukraine, surprisingly. The TB2 really came and made a name for itself during the war for Artsakh between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And it showed how capable it was at wiping out even a conventional force, but a conventional force with minimal air defenses or sort of antiquated air defenses. And initial reports were, saying how amazing this TB2 was, but other reports were saying, yeah, it looks great, but it's actually quite slow. So if it were to go up against a major state actor such as Russia or China or the US, where they have capable air defenses, and especially Russians, which have supposedly had powerful electronic warfare systems, that the TB2 would be rendered ineffective. We'd see them just dropping out of the sky. And so that's what I would have been expecting. However, it seems that for some reason, the Russian air defenses are not able to manage the TB2s. Well, this is something I think we have to look into a little bit further. And interestingly enough, during the Artsakh war, there were reports that Russia had these electronic warfare systems such as the Belladonna, which was responsible for downing something like 9 or 10 TB2s. It was unconfirmed, but I think some analysts were expecting to see these capabilities come out during the conflict in Ukraine, and it looks like either they don't exist, or for one reason or another, they're unable to or choosing not to show these capabilities. And so it's interesting to see that, because TB2 is a male UAV. It's a large, medium altitude, long endurance UAV. It's military grade. It's with MUM-C rockets that it's capable of carrying, and it's normally produced in Turkey, and it's being exported around the world to a lot of different state actors. But they've also been very easy to train people, and whether they're conventional forces or irregular non-state actors, they're quite easy to train people to use. They're cheap and they're easy to set up. So they've been exported around the world, and now we can probably guess that this has been excellent for their marketing. As this article shows, Turkish drone success in Ukraine sets stage for Asia Roadshow. So Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia as key potential customers. So we're likely to see more of the TB2s being circulated. And in Ukraine especially, it's interesting because Ukraine has signed a contract with the Turkish state and with Bayraktar, Bayraktar Makina, the company that produces them. They have a contract to manufacture their own TB2s in Ukraine. So it's a Ukrainian-made TB2 with a Ukrainian engine that will give it a little bit more distance. And they also will have the ability to export those TB2s to any country that they wish, so long as there isn't a pre-existing contract with Turkey. But obviously with the war going on, I don't know how that'll work, but it's interesting to see how these drones have come on. They've managed to overcome defenses, or Russia's CUAS or aerial defenses are unable to deal with them for whatever reason. And I think from a CUAS standpoint, we're seeing the question of the ability to deal with active measures with large drones is apparently still a problem. I can imagine with the small drones, it's already a problem. So looking at these big drones from the state level, when we look at state versus state and military defenses, seeing the TB2 success is definitely an issue that we would be interested in seeing your perspectives on and seeing why this might be having so much success. And so that being said, again, bringing back the point, we have male military scale drones being used by Ukraine. We have a number of different civilian off-the-shelf drones being modified and being weaponized and used by both sides. It will be interesting to see how this will develop throughout the conflict. And I think when we're talking about emerging threats, given all of the non-state actors coming into this conflict, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that might come back in years to come. Having these groups get that experience, the combat experience, the military training, and the experience operating or defending against the UAVs, or even operating CUAS technology, how that might affect the security of the West, of the NATO member states and the US in years to come, given the rising threat from these extreme far-right ultranationalist groups. So that's kind of the points that we wanted to bring up this week. And we're hoping that we can get your perspectives, get some of your opinions. We're certain that we missed a whole lot of stuff. We just wanted to cover in a quick video a few of the key issues that we found interesting. So we'd be happy to hear your perspectives and your opinions on the issues that we're talking about here, or any other emerging threat that you see in the field of UAV, UGV, or any key issue in the CUAS technology. So thanks for watching, and we look forward to hearing your perspectives. And if you wish to do an interview with us, we would be more than happy to organize that. So just feel free to send us an email or contact us on Discord. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.